You are listening to A Quiet Mind. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the present moment here and now. Congratulations, here you are. First of all, let's begin by checking in with our breath, seeing where we're at, and just relax your shoulders, relax your back, relax your hands, relax your legs. Just relax your entire body and check on that breathing. Do a nice, slow, deep breath in. Now hold on to that. And exhale slowly. Okay, one more time. Breathe in very slowly and breathe all the way down to your feet. Let that breath just go all the way down through your body to the very soles of your feet. Hold that. Now exhale slowly. Okay, now that we're here, let's take a look at something that may be coming up for all of us right now. Because when we start to look deeper, things around us begin to change. And we become faced with, for a better word, a lot of our inner demons. Now, when we're doing this work, it's kind of like digging. So as we're digging along, we're going to find little treasures along the way, and some of them may not be exactly wonderful. We may be bringing up old pains. We may be bringing up habits and things in our life that we didn't even know were really truly there. Now, these feelings that we're having, of course we want them to come up, and of course they are valid, and of course we can learn a tremendous amount by looking into how we're feeling. We must remember something that is extremely important, that those feelings are only thoughts. And we've gone through this before in our podcasts in the past. But I want to reassure you again, these are only thoughts. Now, some of these thoughts that we have are transformed into actions. We may feel negative energies from these thoughts, or we may even have very quick, knee-jerk reactions to stimuli. That means anything that's happening outside of ourselves is a good example. We've talked before about how we feel frustrated in line at the store when we're in a hurry, or we're in the car and we're driving in traffic, or, we just feel like we're completely out of control. And one of the reactions that we may have from this is we may actually get very, very upset and angry. And we actually may act on that anger by shouting or yelling or just generally losing our temper. And that's what I want to speak about today, is the habit that we have. And this is very, very important for you to realize this. This action of anger is only a habit. This is not who you are. This does not really reflect the true inner being of yourself. All this is a habit. Somewhere along the line, we have learned that we express our frustration through acting it out. Now, some people will act out and yell, throw things, really get angry and shout at people. Other people will get quiet and they'll go in and they will become introverted and they'll hold all that anger in until later on it comes out at the dog when nobody else is around. But this anger that we have, it's going to come out some way, somehow. In other ways, it may come out where in a disease, what we like to call a dis-ease. We may develop a disorder that is the result of not dealing with this anger that we may have inside of us. It may turn into something that it's so internalized, it turns into something that begins to work from the inside out. And that, of course, is our signal to check in and see that we haven't dealt yet with this pain. Because when we back up the anger and we look at its origin, we can see that in most cases, most of the habits that we have are an origin of a conditioning that we had when we were young. In other words, we pick this up by looking at other people, because that's really how we learn. We learn by those that are around us, and we mirror them, we watch them, and we emulate what we see. We emulate everything that is around us. We must copy first to learn. So we have picked up a habit of dealing with our anger in a certain way. Either we're repressing it, we're holding it in, or we're yelling, we're letting it out, or maybe we're using drugs, or we're using alcohol to numb that pain or that feeling that we have of anger. But just remember this. This is not who you are. This is an action. This is a habit. And like any other habit that we have created in our life, and we do have to take responsibility. We have to take responsibility for all of the things that we have created for ourselves, even those things that are seemingly created by others, where we feel victimized. We've spoken of this before. If we learn to take control, then guess what? No one else has the control over us. So, when we can accept this responsibility for our own habit of anger, then we can begin to start to deal with it. The important factor in this podcast that I'm doing is to remind you that go easy on yourself here, because this is just a habit. And like any other habit, this habit can be ended at any time. Now, we're going to go about that ending of the habit of anger that we may have in a few series of podcasts, because this is a deep, deep one for us. And I'm sure that a lot of you out there have observed yourself and seen yourself act out in anger towards others, and you may have just said, enough, this must not go on. And that is one of our first steps in dealing with this, understanding the origin, then accepting that we're actually doing this, then saying, yes, I am doing this, but this is a habit. This is not who I am. Because we'll no longer want to identify ourselves, and I say that in quotes, with our habitual conditioning. In other words, that which we act upon and that which we act out, or our habits, are not who we truly are. So take that in for today. Take a look at it, mull it around a bit in your mind, and be aware of how you're dealing with your anger. I want you to check in on that today and see, are you expressing it? Are you holding it in? Are you feeling sick because of it? Bodily, physically sick, emotionally sick, spiritually sick? And just check in with that today and understand also that you no longer have to identify with this anger as being who you are. That concludes part 1 of our 4-part series on anger, and I would like to encourage any of you out there that have any ideas or suggestions about this topic to please write in, and I will include those in the up-and-coming podcasts in the future on anger. And I would just like to thank everyone out there who has written in. I've had some wonderful suggestions for podcasts, and I will get around to those hopefully this week. And once again, write me at robert@aquietmind.com. Thank you all very much for listening and for being here now.